Hi, I'm going to be doing hopefully a short review on two juices that I received in a juice swap. And these are already pre-steeped, so I don't have to wait like I would normally do with juices I buy. But, yeah. The first one is Crunch Monster by Avail. I guess that's the name. I've never heard of them, but it's supposed to be like a, from what it looks like, the Captain Crunch cereal type thing. But I don't know. If you didn't see the videos that I posted along with this one, or at the same time as this one, whatever, I'm using a rebuildable setup for testing, which actually worked wonderfully with the other reviews I did, because I don't know, like, it's just working really well. Like, it's not as, it's actually easier than the HH357, only because I don't have to keep blowing it out and all that. All I have to do is really burn it in between testing and it's fine. Anyway, it's a 0.6 ohm coil on just a mech. This is the Smoke Tech Magneto. I also reviewed, should be up along with these. This is one I think would benefit from a less warm of a setup. Because when I tried it at my HH357, it didn't taste right in that either. So it's either the juice or I need to do a lower, like, I don't really know how to put it, like a higher resistance type thing. Because 0.6 on a, like, I guess this would probably be a 3.7-ish battery, whatever. It's still pretty warm. And these type of flavors, like the fruitier type flavors, for me personally, tend to be better at a cooler temperature. Where did my drip tip? Okay, there it is. Okay. Yeah. I'm not sure how I feel about this one because it didn't taste right on my HH357. It doesn't taste right on this dripper. I can get a little bit of the flavor that I would imagine you're supposed to get, but it's just not right. So I'm going to try it on one more thing. I'm going to try it on my Cardo. My little mini Cardo, which is pretty good for testing flavors, especially the more liquidy ones, like the Allison Vapelands, and the one that I'm about to talk about in a second. I don't know what ratio this is supposed to be. It doesn't say, it just says 0 nicotine and produced in the USA. But just from looking at it, it's definitely no more VG than a 50/50. It might even be more PG than VG. That's one gripe I have with companies. I don't like when, number one, and most importantly to me, they don't put the day that they make it or mix it or whatever you want to call it, because that's the date I go by as far as steeping goes. Because like my Allison Vapeland, as much as I love them overall, they don't put when they mix them on there, which at least with them I know that they mix them fresh, which they state right on their site, which another company does not say, and I know for a fact that they don't mix fresh because the two other flavors I got along with the one, which is a different video, but the juices I got along with the one had a date of last month, so it's been a month that it's been, you know, sitting wherever. Can't find anything. Anyway, I'll just use this. I lost my battery charger, so my 18650s are dwindling because this one's at 3.6. Yeah, 3.6 out of the 4.2 or 1 it usually is on my SVD anyway. Just really annoying. Sorry, I had to fiddle with this thing. I think I need a new one of these. Like, I like these mini Cardos, but the center tubey thing that has like the heating element in it, or inside it, whatever, along the inside of it, it keeps like getting out of position, and when it gets out of position, you tend to get like a burning flavor and all that, because the wicking material is actually being ignited instead of what it's supposed to be, because like there's an insulator in there. But whatever. Yeah, I don't know. It's decent. I'm gonna still like mess around with it, but it's definitely very faint on the fruity part. Like if it was a little bit stronger, I think it would definitely be better. Kind of like the same thing, the Allison Vapeland, their crunchberry type flavor, crunkaberry I think it's called. Kind of like among those lines, except at least with this one I'm not getting the milk note to it, which I actually prefer that I don't get the milk note to it, because I don't tend to like those, at least not in vapes. It's decent. Like, I'll vape it from time to time, but it's definitely not a repurchase. And I'm probably going to share that with somebody along with the next one, which is a Virgin Vapors Organic Lemon Rosewater. It's 100% VG, you know, zero nicotine. And I've tried a couple of Virgin Vapors liquids, 3 of which were from a couple years ago. All the coffees, like there's a Kona velvet milkshake and I don't know, whatever. I didn't like any of them. They were all very subtle, like too subtle, and had a weird chemical flavor to it, which is strange because they're supposed to be organic and essentially not using like artificial type things. And when I say chemical, like somebody like pitched a fit on one of my videos. They didn't really pitch a fit, but they kind of like were getting snarky about how, I guess I had mentioned something about sugar versus a chemical taste or something like that, I'm guessing. I don't really know exactly what he was commenting on, but it basically said, well, sugar is a chemical and everything's made of chemicals, whatever. When I say something tastes chemically or chemical-like in nature, I think pretty much everyone knows what that means. It tastes artificial, okay? So, chemical, artificial, just replace it, okay? It's the same thing. So, all of the Virgin Vapors that I had tried previously from the coffee line, they all had like an artificial taste to it, like kind of like an artificial sweetener kind of taste. It just, I didn't like them at all. And I let them steep for months, so it wasn't a steeping issue. This one, the issue that I have with it is it's too watery. Like, they use distilled water, as far as I can tell from their ingredients, to basically dilute the VG, because you can't really use 100% VG with nothing else in it. It would be too thick. It wouldn't be able to produce anything. It would just be too thick. So you either use, usually like water, you can use like alcohol, PG, you know, grain alcohol, not rubbing alcohol, in case anyone wants to like flip out about that. But you don't use 100% VG, and I'm guessing whatever they use, you know, is water, and they use too much of it, because it's just, honestly, like, it just, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, but I'll put it on my hand. You just see how it's so watery, and that does not wick well, in my opinion, in anything that I've used. The only thing that this was decent on was that little mini Cardo. In it was okay. It tasted pretty much like what it's supposed to, a rose water with a little bit of lemon in it. Which, the flavor itself isn't bad. It's definitely a different flavor. If you don't like roses, like if you've never had like rose tea, because like rose tea would probably be the closest thing to it, which ironically I just got the other day. it tastes pretty much just like that, with like maybe a little bit of lemon. But it does taste like water. Like, Rosewater is definitely what it is, and it has the consistency of water. It's just, I don't like my juices to be that runny. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. Especially 100% VG juice. You would assume it'd be runnier. I'm gonna do like a little test. We'll see how well it goes. But we're gonna put this 100% VG from the Virgin Vapors. This batch, by the way, says it was from 2/18/14. So it's been steeping a good couple months. So that shouldn't be an issue. Because if it takes longer than 2 months to steep, I don't think it's worth it. That's just my opinion. And we'll use this Vapor Chef, which is, I think, the highest VG I own, which is 70%. And we'll put it next to it. And we'll do a drip test. Right now, I can see, just by looking at it, when I dripped the Virgin Vapors, it flattened out completely. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to show you this without tilting it. I don't know. But basically, the Virgin Vapors flattened out completely. Like, the water dispersed. Which is what it will do because it's fluid, it's very runny. There's not much thickness to it. Whereas the 70% VG from Vapor Chef maintained its little puddle, or the original puddle, a lot better. And now I'm going to turn my hand, and mind you, it's going to be this one that is the Virgin Vapor. And we'll see which one. As you can see, it's running down considerably faster than the other liquid. So that is test number 1. Test number 2, we're going to do a 50-50 blend. Shouldn't be as bad, right? Because there's more PG, which PG is thinner. So we'll see if, because like, to me it has a thinner consistency than my 50-50 juices, which is way too thin. I'm guessing it would have a similar texture to maybe either 100% PG or a 70-30. Alright, so this is a 50-50 by Seduce Juice called White Walker, which is a mint. I've already done a review on it. It's decent. Just nutshell. And I could tell right away it's flattening out more than quicker than the 70. So it might have a similar. Alright, the Rosewater Virgin Vapors on the side. Okay, it's still running down faster. So, that's just to show you how thin it is. I don't know if that displays it properly, but it's thinner and more fluid than a 50-50 blend. So either a 70 PG, 30 VG, or 100% PG, which I've never vaped. I don't go any higher in PG than 50%. That's just my preference. So anyway, do with that as you will, but if I had to vape the Virgin Vapor one, which I said it's not bad or anything, it's just different. It's not something that I'll vape all the time and just be kind of like one of those things where I'm sick of everything and I want something different. I might reach for it. I don't really know. But if you're going to vape it, I would recommend something with wicking material. The more the better. So if you're going to drip it on a low heat, basically like a high resistant, low voltage type situation, and or a Cardo. Cardo, I would think, would probably work the best because it is so runny. They'll have no issue going through that wicking material. But yeah, definitely wouldn't repurchase either one. Definitely not a fan of Virgin Vapor. Nothing I've had from them has been all that great. So, yeah, if you have any questions, put them below.